السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. من يهدي الله فهو المهتد، ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh for all the dear attendants. Very happy to have you today, inshallah, in our first lesson about the basic knowledge of Islam. Just to revise the criteria of our course and what we're going to have it. Inshallah, the course will stay for around 3 months, which means around 12 lessons. Inshallah, we'll try to finish before Ramadan, and maybe we'll take one, if it will be, we couldn't do that, maybe we'll take 1 week only or 2 weeks from the beginning of Ramadan, 2 lessons, in Ramadan. But we hope, inshallah, that we'll finish before Ramadan. The course actually is very concise, and I try to gather the most important knowledge that all of us need. That's why you can see in the announcement we mentioned that the course is for both our sisters, new Muslim sisters, and for our children and our young ladies, because actually I gave this course before 2 times. The first time was to the young ladies, teenagers, from my girls and from my daughters, and alhamdulillah, they were the first batch. They were very happy about this course, and they told me that they learned, alhamdulillah, much from it. And the second batch was for our new Muslim sisters, and actually it was the same, approximately the same curriculum for both courses. That's why in our third batch, I made it for both the new Muslim sisters, that they need to know the basics of the Islam, especially in their during the early time or early period of their conversion, and also for our children that need to know such important basics knowledge. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for me, to make it easy for you. I want to tell you the way how we're going to contact or interact with each other in this course. As I mentioned in our group, that you have to have now with you a pen and a notebook. This is very important, that you will going to write the important points I'm going to say, inshallah. And there will be weekly weekly quiz I will send on the WhatsApp group, Google form. You will go through it just one time, only for one time, and try to answer the questions that is present. It will be MCQs or true or false. Inshallah, it will be very easy. Don't worry, don't panic, please. It's just very important for us to have these type of questions to make the information solid in your mind. This is number 1. So you have to prepare with you now the pen and your notebook. This is number 1. Then another thing I would like to tell, that the way we're going to have our course is an interactive way. What does it mean, interactive? That I'm going to, for example, I mention a title, and I mention who knows what this title means, or who can tell me what this word mean. So you can send me by text message on the chat room. On the chat room, you can send me the answer if you have the answer, because I can't actually make all the phones or the mic to be open or non-muted, because it will happen like the interference, and it will be maybe annoying to each other. That's why I prefer that when I ask a question, to send me your answer, inshallah, on the chat group. I hope that the course will be good, and I hope that we have a very good team from our boys and our girls, and of course the new sisters. Inshallah, all of us will going to enjoy living with the beauty of the Islam, beauty of our religion, and we will be, inshallah, after this course, will be very proud of our deen, inshallah. So now we'll start. على بركة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Now we'll start with the goals of the course. What I mean by the goals of the course. The goal of the course means these are the 6 points that you have to master. You have to know quite well before, after we finish, inshallah, this course. The first point is to have a solid faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His Messenger, in the Quran. And number two, to answer the big questions of life. What are the big questions of life answered in the Quran? This is what we're going to see, inshallah. The point number 3 is to comprehend pillars of Islam. What is the pillars of Islam? This is what we're going to have, inshallah. Number 4, to know pillars of Iman or faith. What are the pillars of faith? And number 5, the important questions about Islam. And I mentioned it is important because actually it's very important to know for both, for my children and for the new Muslims. The new Muslims, after they converted to Islam, they may have people who are attacking and they're not happy by their conversion, and maybe they will start to make suspicious things in their minds about Islam. So it's very important to know the most striking examples of such questions, and also the same for my children. Number 6, to understand the position of women in Islam. This is very important because people may attack the Islam by saying that Islam is the religion of oppression for the woman. So for my boys and my girls and my sisters, they should know, is Islam is a religion that make the woman oppressed or not? So inshallah, we'll try to have all these 6 points concise and in an easy way for all of us to can understand easily. Now we'll start, inshallah, by the first point, which is how to increase our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in His Messenger and in His Quran. Now we'll come to the story. I just rather mentioned it or making it like a story. Let us take the story from the beginning. The story of what? The story of the universe around us. I'm sure that all of you have previous information. They watched YouTube videos about the astronomy, how the different Milky Ways we are in and the other Milky Ways that away from us, how the planets is coming, how the movement of the Earth around the sun and around itself, how everything is very finely adjusted and tuned. And who is the creator? Who is the sustainer? Who is the fashioner of all these beautiful things that we can see, these mountains and these rivers, this valley and these green plants coming from the earth and from the soil? Who is the master? Who is the one who is controlling over that? So Islam as a beginning, if we're going to define Islam in English, is to submit yourself to Allah. Submit yourself to Allah. So what's the meaning of Islam? Islam is submission to Allah. What does it mean, submission to Allah? We have to know who are we. We are considered to be one of the creatures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created in this vast universe, with the earth, with the heavens, with the planets, with everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, and everything is submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So since we are one of these creatures as human being, and also mankind, which is one of the we consider to be one of the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should submit to him. And when I say submission to Allah, that Allah I know, Allah the creator, Allah who created me as a Muslim, I believe in Allah and I believe in his messenger and I submit to him. But let us see the disbelievers. Are they submitting to Allah? Let's start. Who can answer this question and start sending me the answer? Are the disbelievers are submitting to Allah? The one who will tell yes, yes, why, no, no, why. Excellent. Omar and Ahmed and Jad is saying no. Why? I need to know why. Why they are not submitting to Allah. And on the other hand, the one who will say yes, you tell me why yes. Adam, yes, they don't have other choice. Excellent. Excellent, Adam. Adam is saying they are submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's not to Allah, it's to the Lord. The disbelievers are submitting to the Lord that he created all this universe around them. But although they are not believing in them, Ya Omar, you are right. Although they are not believing in Allah, but voluntarily or obligatory, they are submitting. They cannot live except under his sky. They cannot live except over his earth. So they are submitting obligatory submission, but not like us, not like our submissions as Muslim. We are, as Muslim, we are submitting by our religion, by our belief in Allah, by our doing the good deeds, but their submission is not of the belief. They are not, of course, they are not submitting in their belief, but they are submitting that they have their provision from Allah. They are living in the universe of Allah, on the earth that created by Allah. So they are obligatory submission, although that they are pretending to be to say that we don't believe in God and there is no God and so ever. So back to the simple definition of Islam for us for Muslims is submission to Allah. We are choose to be Muslim, so it is our submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and believing in him. Now we'll come to a very important question that we should ask ourselves. Now we mentioned that we believe in Allah. We believe in Allah. This is very good. But did we ask ourselves, who is Allah? Who is Allah that we are believe in? If someone of your non-Muslim friends comes to you and tell you, who is your Lord? Describe for me your Lord. Describe for me the God that you are worshiping. So we have the answer. We have the answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the answer in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Surah Al-Ikhlas number 112 in the Quran. Surah Al-Ikhlas is mentioning the description, definition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you want to define Allah to someone who doesn't know Allah, what are you going to say to him if he told you who is Allah? You will tell to him, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam to mention in this surah, Qul, say. Who will say? Prophet Muhammad, say, Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Say he is Allah, who is one, only one, unique one. So he is, when I say who is Allah, the one ask me who is Allah, I will tell them he is Allah, the only one, the unique one. Allahu Samad. Allah is the eternal refuge. All the people are in need of Allah, and He doesn't need of anyone. All the people, all the creatures, even, by the way, not only the mankind, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdoms, everything created by Allah in need of Allah. So He is the eternal refuge. Allahu Samad. Lam yalid, He neither begets, walam yulad, nor is born. So He has no parents and He has no offspring. Nor walam yakun, there is to Him, walam yakun lahu, kufuwan ahad, any equivalent. Kufuwan ahad, any equivalent. No person, no anything in the world is equivalent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the deity, He is the creator, and nothing is equivalent to Him. So this is very simple surah. I'm sure that all of you memorizing this surah and you just say it every day during your prayers. But actually it's very deep in its meaning. And if we really understand the meanings, it will help us a lot in understanding many things. Let us see the meanings. We have a thing called oneness, or in Arabic, at-tawheed. At-tawheed, or the oneness. What is at-tawheed? This is according to the scholars. When they make it easy, they divided the tawheed, or the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, into three types. Number one, the lordship oneness, or tawheed al-rububiyyah. And number two, divine oneness, which is tawheed al-uluhiyyah. And the third type is Tawheed al-Asma' wa-Sifat, or the oneness of the attributes and names of Allah. We're going to have it now in a very simple way. What does all these things mean? At the end, it is oneness of Allah. Allah is only one, unique one. So when I come to speak about lordship oneness, which means that only one Lord to believe in. What is the difference between the Lord and the deity, or in the divine, or the ilah, when we are going to see now in divine oneness? Let us now focus on the lordship oneness. The lordship oneness is the Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. When you believe that your creator is one, your sustainer only one, your provider only one, the owner of this universe and of you yourself is only one, the one Lord, and the guardian, the protector of you is only one. So we believe in only one creator, one sustainer, one provider, one owner, and one guardian. And moreover, there is one who are disposer of our affairs. So these are the characters of the Lord, the Lord of the worlds, all the worlds, which is usually, we mention that in Surah Al-Fatiha. Remember, in Surah Al-Fatiha, every time when we are saying the first ayah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, right? All of us know that. Rabb al-Alameen which means Lord of the worlds. What is the meaning of Lord? When I tell you what is the meaning of Lord, it means that He is the creator, the sustainer, the provider, the owner, the disposer of our affairs, or the affairs of every creations of His all creations. Okay, this is the Lord. Now we come to divine oneness, or Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. Divine oneness, what does it mean? Here I will talk about the Ilah, or deity, or Allah. Here it comes, these names coming to me, the Ilah, or Allah. When I ask you what is ilah, what's meant by to have one ilah? So ilah means only one ilah to be worshipped, only one ilah to obey him in his commands and his prohibitions, only one ilah to do ritual for his sake. For his sake, this is very important. So the ilah or divine is, here we can see there are orders coming now. There are commands and prohibition, and there are worshipping, and there are rituals I'm doing for sacrificing, for example, for Allah, doing charity for Allah, doing Hajj for Allah. This is very important. So when I tell you what is the difference between Lord and Ilah, you should know. This is very important. When I mentioned Lord, Lord is the one who is responsible for your creation, for your sustaining your life, provision, owner of you. He is the owner of all of us and all the universe, and the disposer of our affairs. These are the 5 meanings, goes to the Lord. When I tell you who is the Ilah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also is the Ilah. Allah to be worshipped, Allah to be obeyed, and to do the ritual for the sake of him. This is very important. Why I mention these important things? Because when I am saying that Allah, he is the one to be deserved to worship, this belongs to the Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Ilah is, we are worshipping Allah as Ilah and as a Lord. Both of the characters of Allah, we are worshipping. The names of Allah, we are worshipping his attribute in the 2 names. For people, there are some people who are just having the belief in the first one, believe in the Lord. And in Arabic, they are called al-rububiyun. Al-rububiyun. Rububiyun means they are believing that there is a Lord. There is someone who created the whole universe and he left it. And khalas, we are now having our life without any ilah that have a curriculum, send us a curriculum that we have to follow this curriculum and to follow his commands and to follow his prohibition. No, they are not believing in that. They just believe. And this is what happened with the disbelievers with the Prophet Muhammad والسلام, in Mecca, that they used to worship the Lord. They believe in Lord, but they are not worshiping the Ilah or the deity, because they are refusing any taklif or doing the actions of the worship or doing the rituals or doing the prayers. No, they don't want that. They feel tired about that. Okay, there is a Lord, we believe there is a Lord, but don't ask us to obey this Lord or make the worship for him. Okay, I wish that this point is clear for all of you. If anyone has question, he can send me now before we go to the next point. Okay, now we go to the 3rd type and last type of the oneness of names and attributes, Tawheed al-Asma' was-Sifat in Arabic. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to the hadith sahih by the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, he mentioned, verily Allah has 99 names, 100 but one. Whosoever knows each and every one of them, believe in them, and works according to them, enter the paradise. So here we can know from this hadith of the Prophet that Allah has 99 names and attributes. There are names and attributes. We are now studying the names. In another lessons, it is the beautiful names of Allah. And with the names, we are mentioning some of attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the names that we are studying, all the attributes we are studying is going in a very important frame. Very important frame. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. No one is comparable to Allah. No one is comparable to Allah. Remember Surah Al-Ikhlas? وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. There is no equivalent to Allah or near equivalent. or comparable to Allah. This is very important to be in mind when we are studying the names and the attributes of Allah. So, to one is in names and attributes, to believe that names and attributes only belongs to Allah. There are no comparison or resemblance or negation or figuring out in these names. When I mentioned, for example, that Allah is the all-hearing or the all-seeing, don't say, oh, like us, he has ears, he has eyes. We can't say that because it's beyond our mind level. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that he is the all-seeing and the all-hearing, but with a frame that لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. No one is comparable to him. We cannot resemble his characters or his name, and we cannot negate and say, no, he has no, he has, and he mentioned to us that he has. Or we can figure it out. We can't figure it out. Okay, what we're going to do? To believe. To believe as by these names and attribute exactly like came in the Quran and Sunnah. This our responsibility, and this is what we have to do as a Muslims, that we don't go further for how it looks like or how we can resemble, or on the other side, no, this is a way Allah will not like and will not have these things, eyes or ears. No, Allah has. Why I'm saying Allah is because he's mentioned that about himself. But how it looks like, how it figures, we cannot figure it out. We cannot try to go further. Why? Because it will be a way or out of our mind level. Now, when we're going to see Allah, yes, we're going to see Allah. When inshallah we'll enter the paradise. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that all the group we're having and listening to me now will enter together to the paradise. When we enter the Jannah, we're going to see Allah. And this is hadith sahih, came by the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, that you're going to see your Lord as you will see the full moon during a night. When you have a full moon during night, you're going to see Allah like this full moon, and even you will be, everyone, he can see Allah freely. They will not be crowded. You will not crowd with each other. One can want to see and the other cannot. No, all of us, inshallah, we can see Allah at that time. Now we'll come back quickly to Surah Al-Ikhlas to can figure out what we mentioned now in application on Surah Al-Ikhlas. Surah Al-Ikhlas, what it say? We have say, Ya Muhammad, he is Allah. Allah, he is the one. So it is the oneness of Allah, divine oneness. What is the divine oneness? When he mentioned Qul huwa Allahu ahad. So Allahu ahad is here the Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, which means the oneness of divine oneness. Why divine oneness? Because the name of Allah came. Allah who only deserved the worship. Allah who only deserved to be obeyed and to avoid his prohibitions. Allah who only deserved to make the ritual only for his sake. خلاص, يبقى the first point here is قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. We have the divine oneness. The eternal refuge, Allahu Samad. See, what is the eternal refuge, As-Samad? All the people need him. Need him, why? Provision, sustainer, disposer of their affairs. He is the guardian, he's supporter. So all these are the characters of lordship. So the third point is the lordship oneness. Tawheed al-Rububiyyah came in As-Samad, eternal refuge. Then he neither begets nor is born. Again, here know about his oneness, a confirmation that he has no partnership. When I say he neither begets, he has no partnership with anyone, either of the parents before, or with offspring, or with a wife. He has no wife, he has no parents, he has no offspring. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no relation with anybody, he's just only one. That's why it came no partnership. When I mentioned partnership, it's not only his partner or his wife. No, he has no wife, he has no children, he has no parents. partnership of anything. He doesn't need anyone. He is only the one. Then we'll come to the oneness of the names and attributes in the last ayah. Nor there is to him any equivalent. No one is equivalent to him. Okay? So this is very important. Any questions in those types of oneness before we transfer, or we just move to the other point? Any questions? Okay. Now, Alhamdulillah, we have the belief that Allah is our Lord, and we mention why He is Lord. 5 things, don't forget. And then Allah is our deity, our ilah. Why He's our ilah? 3 things, don't forget. Write down, don't forget to write down. And number 3, He is we all believe in His names and attributes. Okay. The story. We'll go back to the story. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord, the ilah, created this universe and created us from these creations, the mankind, okay? And He honored us, specific honor, which make us different from all the creatures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. What is the difference? That we have mind. We have mind. We have to think. We have to think. We have to take decision. We are free decision makers. We are the only creatures of Allah that have free decision makers. This is very important to know how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored us by that. He didn't make our belief in Him and His obedience obligatory. He gave us preference over other creatures. Okay. Now He wants to tell us about that. He wants to tell us about that. I am your Lord. I am the one who deserved to be worshipped. Don't worship the sun or the moon or the cows or the trees. Or even you are not knowing what to worship. Worship yourself, maybe your money, your authority, whatever. Allah wants to tell us, I am here. What should He do? He will not talk to us directly, because our way of creation will not be in a matter that we can bear that. We can't bear to talk to Allah directly. So He will send us a messenger. He will send us a messenger. So it's very logic that our Lord and our ilah, when He wants to have a communication with His servants on the earth that He created and honored and give them free decision maker, to send a messenger to tell them what He wants from them. Okay? So now we have a messenger. The messenger since the Prophet Adam till the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. What is the character of the messenger? The messenger should be a human. Why? Send me now the answers. Why the messenger should be a human, or a man, or from the mankind? Waiting for your answers. There is a one coming. Jad, excellent, to be like all others. And Ahmed or Osman, because he's one of them. So what, yani, to be one of them or to be like the others? What is the advantage of that? We understand him, we can understand him, yes. Why he couldn't send an angel? Because this question being mentioned by the disbeliever, why not angel? Why not angel? Yes, Yajad, yes, I can see. But why it's not angel? Because this was the question asked by the disbeliever to the Prophet. They said, why Allah didn't send an angel despite instead of you? Why not an angel? Jed, he didn't send an angel because he wasn't, he wants people to be tested. No, it has nothing to do. It's okay if the angel have the message whatsoever, and it will not be, he will tell them, your Lord wants to be so and so. Adam, if it was an angel, we can say after can't as the angel because we are just a human. Yes, excellent. Adam, the angel is not like us, as you mentioned in the beginning, those who replied, because the human is like the others. He has the same feelings. He has the same circumstances. He's eating like them. Fatima is responding because they would honestly believe and see their choices, so it was a test. Yes, actually, here again, the human to be a mankind is to have the same characters of the mankind, and they have the difficulty. Now, when I am tell the people, if yani, will make it more easy. If an angel now came to us and telling us, you have to have to make prayer the whole night, every day for 1 year. I'm doing that every day. So you are doing that because you are an angel. We are not an angel. We can't do that. It's away from our capabilities. So being a human, so the same feelings, the same capabilities, the same way of feeling, that's why they can obey him, and they can see that the worship is something they are capable of doing it. So number one, to be a human, and we mentioned why. Number two, should be a role model. And the Prophet ﷺ was known before the prophethood that he is the honest, the trustful. Why? Why the messenger should be role model, honest and trustful or truthful? Tell me. Why he should be a role model? Why? And honest and truthful. Yes, who can tell me? Oh, I seems to be sleeping, or what? You slept from me, or what? Slept. To be. Okay, Omar, excellent to mention so people follow him. Mustafa is mentioned because we will copy his actions, excellent, and it will lead us to Jannah. Inshallah, Habibi, it will lead us to Jannah. So yes, of course, he should be role model. He should be honest because people to follow him. This is number one. Number two, who will do it? Yes, yeah, Adam, of course, we can copy his action and believe in him. But number two, why? He will have the messenger will have what? The messenger will have what? The message, right? The messenger will have the message. What is a message? The message is the holy book. Quran, or previously was Torah or Bible, before of course modification. So the holy book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this person must be chosen by Allah to be very truthful and honest, because he will not lie on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will not mention ayat or verse that not mentioned before. And this is what they try the people that enemies of Islam to claim all the time that Prophet was liar or something like that. Astaghfirullah طبعا. لكن when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's choosing his messengers to be honest because he will carry the message of Allah. And anyone will carry the message of Allah should be honest and truthful. And not only honest, he must be the master of honesty in his people, not only honest. Okay, this is number three. And number two, should be well known by his people. Why? Why should be well known by his people? Not a stranger coming to them. Why the messenger should be known by his tribe or his people? The word spread, and so they believe the word spread, and so they believe him. And the second part is right, Omar, yes, that they believe him, they know his family, they know him since he was a child with them. That's why it makes it more easy for them to believe him and to follow him. He was not stranger. You can imagine when a stranger come to a place and tell us, I have a new message and I am a messenger and you have to follow me and this is the order of Allah. Who will follow him? Oh, nobody knows that man. Who is talking about? So he should be known by the people of his place. Now, again, another important thing came with the Prophet. Now we'll come to the Prophet Muhammad specifically, alayhi salatu wassalam. Prophet Muhammad could not read or write. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? The one who will tell me the answer, tell me why, please. If it is good, good why. If it is bad, bad why. Now the Prophet couldn't read or write. Is it a bad or good and why? Is it a good, yeah, Adam? You told me why, but you didn't say it is good or bad, Adam. Excellent. It is good. And he mentioned why, because he will not, anyone to claim that he wrote the Quran will be liar, will be false, claiming that he didn't write the Quran. It's just, yes, Sister Shamira, mashallah, it's good. Good, why? Because it is absolutely revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't write a letter in the Quran because actually he didn't know how to write or to read. So when he started to have this verse in a very talented way, skillful way in Arabic language, in people around him were already skillful in the Arabic and skillful in the language, and moreover they made every day like a festival for the poems and for the poets to have to present their poems. And although all that, they couldn't bring just one ayah. They couldn't bring just one ayah like the Quran. So this is very good point actually, that the Prophet cannot read or write. And make it excellent, Omar, make it like a miracle, very talented, yes, at talking, more amazing, as he couldn't write. Yes, excellent, barakallahu fiki, Omar, excellent, mashallah. Okay, the last point here. Arab Peninsula were very popular, as we mentioned, by their excellent talent in Arab poems and novels. So these are a very important character of the messenger. The messenger should be human, should be role model, should be honest, and should be well known by his people. And he was not reading, literate Prophet Muhammad, not reading or write, and we know the miracle in such characters. Now we'll come to the message. Let us now speak about the message. What is the message? The messenger came with the Quran. The Quran. What we're going to tell about the Quran. The Quran, as Prophet ﷺ mentioned, it is the firm robe of Allah. Hablullah al-Mateen. Firm robe of Allah. It is the robe between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Between us, we are in the earth. We have one end of this rope, and the second end of this rope is in the heaven with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is a communication between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran understanding and pondering is very important. I'm telling that to our sisters, new Muslim sisters, and to our children, boys and girls. You have to increase your relation with Allah by pondering and understanding Quran. Quran will talk to you. Quran will cure you. Quran will make you happy. Quran will do everything. Quran is a true friend for you. If we are now telling, or you may hear from your parents that you should read, you have to have book every 1 week to finish, and your reading is important to improve your English language, I am telling you, Quran is more important. Quran is #1 book to be read. Quran should be in your life daily, because if you be with the Quran, everything else will be fixed for you. Everything else will be perfected for you. If you came to Quran with devotion and with intention that ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make you understand. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make you near to Him. The people of the Quran are the nearest people to Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah. They will not have any type of accountability. They will enter just directly like that to the Jannah. They will have no accountability. They will be the family of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is mentioned in the hadith, sahih by the Prophet. Ahlul Quran hum ahlullahi wa khassatu, which means the people of the Quran who are memorizing, who are studying Quran, are the people of Allah and His VIP class is Ahlul Quran. So focus on the Quran. If you are taking Quran lessons, focus on the Quran lessons, focus on the meanings, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you to understand and to memorize Quran. Now we'll come to the word of Allah or the Quran, what it contains. We try to summarize the most important 8 points that we can see in the message brought by the messenger. Number 1, stories of previous prophets. We can, and their people. Of course, if you go through the Quran, you will find Prophet Moses. Of course, number 1, he has a lot of stories are speaking about the Prophet Moses and Pharaoh and what happened to them. There is a whole surah for the Prophet Joseph or Prophet Yusuf. Other prophets, around 25 prophets mentioned their names in the Quran. And there are moreover than that, more than 120,000 prophets and messengers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent them. But what really mentioned in Quran is around 25. So what we can find in Quran, stories of the previous prophets and their tribes, and what they happen, and what is type of conversation, and how they invited them to the Islam. And by the way, Islam is the only religion from Prophet Adam till Prophet Muhammad. It is Islam. It is all submission to Allah. The difference in Torah or Bible is what we call it the ritual, how to, maybe they have different type of fasting, different type of prayers, but the only message is to worship only one ilah, one Allah, submission to Allah. This is Islam, is the only religion since Prophet Adam. Now I'll tell you something about the why the Quran is telling us about the stories of the previous prophets and the Prophet Muhammad. Why? Who can tell me? Think. Why the Quran tell us about the previous prophet stories and the story of the Prophet Muhammad and what happened between him and his people? Waiting, answers. Wake up, please. We have 12 members and more here, and only I have 3 or 4 who is answering. I want the rest. I want new names. Excellent, Adam. Models for us. Number 1. Number 2. Yes, Omar, the same. We can learn from them. Yes, this is one of the very important aspects. Any further examples? Any further answers? Okay. So they are, yes, yeah, Ahmed or Othman, but I'm just, I don't know who is exactly sending the answer, but it's either of you. Yes, an example to copy from, an example to follow. Yes, because we're going to face such people in our life. The Quran is teaching us how to answer them. When you come between the conversations of the prophets and their people and how they are questioning them and how they are replying to them, you know how to have a communication skills, how to have a good communication skills and to argue with a good way, good argument. الموعظة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن, which means a good type of arguments with the disbelievers and how to answer them and answer this question. Number 2, events from the past, present, and future. and this future, which means that it's added to the miracles of the Quran. The miracles of Quran is a lot, away from the Arabic language and linguistic techniques, and the stories of the past and the present and the futures. Again, challenging by words, by letter, by rhetoric devices. All that is present in the Quran. Warnings and good news. Warning for whom and good news for whom? Warnings for whom? Tell me. Yes, Fatma. Yes, excellent. Warning for the non-believer. Yes. Or the disbeliever. Excellent, Omar. Yes, Ahmed and Othman. Mustafa, right. Warning to disbelievers. And the other thing, the good news for the believers. Yes, the good news for the believers. So this is what we are also going to have in the Quran. Yes, excellent, Ahmed and Othman. Now we have number 5. What is also the Quran contain? The Quran contains wisdom and learning from faults. This is very important. I want my boys who were with me with Surah Al-Kahf that we had last time. Who can remember what faults happen or unintentional mistake that happen and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attract the attention of the Prophet to avoid making it again? Who can tell me, Ya Mustafa or Omar or Jad? Who can tell me what the unintentional mistake made by the Prophet that made Allah to correct him? Excellent, Adam. Excellent. Yes, Adam is just being the first tracer now. First tracer is Adam. Remember when we mentioned وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا? Yes, Ya Omar. Okay, okay. You have to train yourself, Ya Omar, on quick writing, huh? Because we have a quickest one with us now. So try to be the quicker. So when Allah SWT mentioned to his prophet, لا تقولن لشيء إني فاعل ذلك غدا إلا أن يشاء الله. So that's because the prophet mentioned to the disbelievers that they're going to tell them about the answer of their question next day. And actually he didn't say inshallah. That's why the answer did not come from Allah except after 15 days. So this is such events that happened. We can learn from such events. It's not just a story that we're going to recite. We have to know that we must mention inshallah, for example, of course. Okay, number 6, informing about unseen. Who can tell me examples of the unseen? Example of the unseen. Sister Shamira, I want to see your message. Informing about unseen. Okay, Adam is mentioning the jinn. Informing about Allah, inni ana Allah. Yes. No, ya Idris, no, ya Ahmed and Othman, it's not the unseen is not, it is in the future. It's not the prophet. It's, yes, like Sister Shamira, mashallah, the angels, the paradise. Yes, ya Adam. So the unseen, including the hellfire, the paradise, the other creature like the angels, the jinn, and the day of judgment, Yawm al-Qiyamah, the devils, of course, like Omar mentioned. So all these things are unseen, and Allah is mentioned all these unseen in the Quran. Okay, number 7. Mentioning pillars of Islam and faith. Who knows the pillars of Islam? We're going to take it, but I'm just testing your information. Who knows the pillars of Islam? How many pillars first? How many pillars? How many? 5. Excellent, ya Ahmed and Adam and Mustafa and Osman. Yes, it is 5. Yes, it's 5. Yes, ya Fatma, it is Shahada, it is Salah, and it is Shahada and Salah. And number 3, huh? Zakat. Excellent. Amr, welcome back. Fine too. Yes. وعلي أخيرا علي طلع. Okay. So Shahada and then prayer, Zakah, and Saum, fasting. Fasting number 4. Number 4, fasting. Saum, excellent. Ya Umar. Hajj, number 5. MashaAllah. Excellent. They are the pillars of Islam are 5. We're going to take it, inshallah. Type. We have the pillars of Iman, faith. Who knows how many pillars of Iman or faith? Who knows? How many? 6. Excellent. Adam, Omar, Mustafa. Excellent. They are 6. Believe in what? Number 1, the faith. Believe in number 1, Allah. Excellent. 2, بالله واليوم الآخر وكتبه ورسله وملائكته وبالقدر خيره وشره. Okay, inshallah we'll take it later يعني, but mashallah you have a lot of information. And then number 8, what is present in the Quran is the rules and regulations. What is the rules and regulations? How to fast, how to live with the family, regulations of marriage, regulations of the family, regulations of the siyam, of the hajj, how it's present, all these other regulations for the morals, for the what we call it, the behavior. Don't lie, don't backbiting, don't make any things bad to the others, don't betray. All that are present for the regulations of the Quran. So when we come to summarize all, now the Prophet Muhammad والسلام, conveyed the message of Allah and its application by the Quran and Sunnah. He conveyed Quran as it is, coming from Allah, and revealed to him by Jibreel, the angel. He explained and clarified some of this issue came in the Quran generally, like the prayers, but how to pray and how to do the Hajj all came in authenticated Sunnah. Hadith Sahih must be followed by all Muslims. Muslim consider Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam their role model in life. His wife Aisha, Sayyida Aisha, radiallahu anha, verily, she mentioned, verily the character of the messenger of Allah was the Quran, So the Quran was the character of the messenger. So that's why I'm telling you, Quran, very important to understand in order to make the Quran is the character of our life. With the last slide, we have the Sunnah, which when I'm telling you Sunnah or authenticated Sunnah, to know, write it down. It's very important. What is the Sunnah? Sayings of the Prophet, doings of the prophets, approval of the Prophet. What's mean of approval? That something happened in front of him and he didn't refuse it, or he didn't mention it is wrong. So the scholars mention about that it is approval. So the Sunnah is either sayings, doings, approval. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.